All right, welcome back and into another new hour. Insensitivity training for a politically correct world. It is Tuesday morning. It's November the 12th, 2024. I'm Woody. That is Greg Gorey.
Woody, good morning.
Good morning to you, Menace.
Good morning, Woody.
There's Gina Grad.
Hey there.
Seabass is here. Yeah. We got Sammy.
Morning.
Phones open for you. 877-44-Woody. You can hit us up with a text over to 22987. Gina Grad, what's happening with the trending news headlines?
Well, I'm sure you've heard, at least in passing, about the Delphi murders. And now 50-year-old Richard Allen from Delphi, Indiana, was just found guilty on all charges in the double murders of 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German. They were best friends. The jury's verdict came on the fourth day of deliberations. Abby and Libby were killed on a hiking trail in February of 2017. It was very, very gruesome. And the defense argued that Richard was in a psychotic state when he made numerous confessions to cops. And it wasn't him who murdered the girls because none of his DNA was found at the scene. But the jury wasn't buying it.
Yeah, I mean,
they were lucky enough to get a little piece of video because the girls were
taking pictures, videos, yes.
Yeah, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but when you see this guy, I'm like, oh yeah, he's a murderer.
Yeah.
He looks like a murderer.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing, like you said, Menace, it's very eerie. They saw this guy in the background and he ended up getting charged for all of it. So goodbye.
I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I could say with complete certainty that I would never confess to something I didn't do. And people say, oh, that was a coerced confession. Okay.
Yeah.
He was tired.
Same.
They had been talking to him for 18 hours. So he just, no, you can talk to me for 18 days in a row.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to say, oh, I'm so tired. Okay. I'll say I did it.
Well, what if WrestleMania is happening and you want
You're going to miss it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
The only exception,
why would anybody do that?
I'm with you. The only exception is when, because, I would love to watch all these true crime things when cops say, look, if you just admit it, you can go home, which is the opposite of what's going to happen to you.
Exactly. That's because that's what I was just going to say.
All right.
Yeah, so you get a confession, and then what? You think you're just going to leave?
Well, bye.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I brought up that
on the other end of your confession is not going home and
No.
back to your life as normal. And if you didn't do it, like, why would you say that you did it?
Yeah,
Never would.
I brought up that WrestleMania thing because that was from
Making a Murderer.
Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
I
kid.
forgot about that.
Dumb kids. Right?
It's different. Like, you argue with your wife and you say something, your wife like, all right, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's no consequence there.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Other than you got to admit to her that you're, at least let her believe that she was right for something.
Right. But you're not going to prison.
There's no prison on the other side of that.
Right.
Like, all right, there's no consequence.
Yeah.
This, you go to prison.
Yeah, I'm
it's
tired,
over.
so I'm going to say I killed them.
Yeah. Can I go now?
Yes, right
You're
this
right.
way,
That's
sir.
so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Well, all hail Disney. A 50-foot catamaran that was about 230 miles off the coast of Bermuda when a gasket failure in the escape hatch caused it to start taking on water. The 4 passengers on board were sinking, so a nearby Disney cruise ship called the Disney Treasure came and rescued it.
And it was
Is that
a
one of the-
debut voyage.
I was going to say, that's got to be one of the new boats because I
It
didn't.
was.
They're heroes.
It's their maiden voyage, and then they're out there saving people.
Yeah, it was on
Nice.
its way from the Netherlands to Florida.
You think it was a setup?
A marketing stunt.
Yeah, just to get the name of the boat out there. 'Cause I'm like, I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now we're all talking about it. It was about 80 miles away. So they launched one of their small boats and were able to rescue all the passengers. Nobody was hurt.
Were there passengers on the Disney boat,
Yeah.
or were they just getting it from the Netherlands?
I believe there was
to-
passengers on
to
there.
Florida.
Yeah.
Cruising officially.
Yeah, I don't see Netherlands as a big Disney. Like, well, what he's saying? Like,
Yeah, like did they build the boat there and then I don't know, then they're just transporting it to Florida so they can start doing their
yeah.
cruises
I mean,
out of Florida.
I
They do a
saw-
lot of them out of Florida.
That's a way less sexy story. Just stop saying it. We want a full boat of passengers cheering.
I did see footage, and there was many people on the boat. I
but
just don't know.
not Woody, 1,000,000% correct.
Yeah.
Which was
No!
constructed, was heading from Eemshaven, Netherlands to
Nice.
its future home in Port Canaveral.
I wanted to see adults, Disney adults with ears cheering on the bow.
All the obesity.
Exactly.
well, you know how the boats all have their horn.
Oh,
they
wow.
all have their horns, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, the Disney ships, they all have different. They can do different Disney songs.
It's awesome.
it.
So when it goes.
Now, Greg, I know you don't go on Disney cruises, but now
No, dude.
Now I'm sold.
Dude, they're lit. They got
I've
the
been-
fireworks show. That's awesome.
I've been on a couple of Disney cruises. They are awesome. They
Yeah.
are fun. Even if you're an adult, they're adults only things. But if you
Areas,
have kids
yeah.
of any age,
It's
like
fun.
they're a lot of fun. They really are. It's
If
not.
I
Look,
had kids, I
here's the
would.
thing. It's not for Seabass. It's not for Greg.
Who?
It's just not. But like for other normal people,
Thank
Right.
you.
it's a lot of
Well,
fun.
you go
And
to the
service
island, there's
and
the
the
half-
boats are
Yeah.
immaculate.
The other half of the island's adults only.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Fun.
Are there costume characters just everywhere?
Not every like that's the thing. I feel like if you want to, you can avoid. There's a way, like, but I don't know why. If you hate Disney,
You're on the
then
wrong
don't
cruise.
go.
Yeah, why do you
exactly.
want it?
But like, if you don't want to just be inundated by it, you don't have to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And they rescue catamarans.
Yeah, they're heroes.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking like for you and your husband and your
The
stepson. Yeah, you guys would love it.
And you can be like, "Well, bye," because who's gonna? You're not gonna steal the
They have
kid.
the kids club, so you like
Yeah.
my kids didn't want to be picked up from the kids clubs, and so you just go off on your own. They'll
I
hit
like
you up
that.
if the kids are ready to get picked up or whatever. It's great.
Yeah, just
I like
envision
that.
that, Gina. You just in the morning just say to your kid, "Bye,"
Bye, Daisy.
and no one's gonna steal you. Bye.
And that's what we do now. I mean, the kids in 15 and 12, it's like, all right, well, here's where we're going to be. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Or this is our kind of base of operation. Where are they going to go?
Right.
Overboard,
Exactly.
but that's it.
Yeah.
That could happen whether I'm there or not.
Exactly
It
right.
could happen because a parent's irritated.
I would say it could happen because of me.
Exactly. Well, a Spirit Airlines flight, let's talk about another vehicle. This one out of Florida was just hit with gunfire
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
while making a landing in Haiti. But thankfully, the plane was still able to land safely after being hit.
Yeah, Spirit's getting a lot of shrapnel on this one because
Why?
because it's Spirit.
Yeah.
But the real headline is Haiti.
I didn't know that Spirit flew to Haiti.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Maybe they're the only ones brave enough. They
Yeah.
They
Well-
have street cred.
Well, none of the passengers were injured. One flight attendant on the aircraft reported a couple of minor injuries. Thankfully, Spirit says they've taken that shot up plane out of service, everybody. So it's not going to be your, your flight to
Put
Pittsburgh.
tape over the holes.
So
Yeah.
They take a plane out of service if like something doesn't work, like
The tray table.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
in their restroom or whatever is not operational.
Right.
Like, they'll take it out of service for that, but they're full on
Bullet holes.
Yep.
in the overhead compartments. Yeah, this thing got shot up.
It's terrifying. And would you like to know who shot up the damn thing? In case you're not totally sure.
Somali pirates?
Well, it seems like a gang thing. Because the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince says it's aware of gangs trying to block travel to and from the city. So that's their new way.
Yeah, the last cruise I went on was
work.
supposed to
Yeah.
make a stop in Haiti.
Yeah.
and then
Right.
there was all that unrest going on there. They're like, nah, dog.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been to that part of the island.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and
But
there's
I
like,
mean,
nah.
if you
But
up
worth
in the
it?
hills though, there's there's guys with machine guns
We're
and
not going
stuff.
there.
But the beach rules.
Greg, I did the helicopter tour
Yeah.
when I went to Maui.
Uh-huh.
And they're flying over like, well, we have to stay in a certain area at a certain height, and that's how the people on the ground know that we are not the feds,
Wow.
because like
They'll shoot.
that's where they were growing all the Maui Wowie, which at the time was a much bigger deal and a
Oh,
bigger
yeah.
no-no than it is now. I mean, it's still a federal no-no, but like how people's attitudes toward marijuana and growing marijuana were
Softened.
not the same at that time. This is
Right,
like
exactly.
This is like the late '90s.
So these tours
And-
would fly lower than the feds.
They would
you
fly
could
to
be
whatever the
clearly
altitude.
visible?
Yeah, so they would know. Oh, that's a tour helicopter. They're not here
that's
trying to
very
survey and
bust
see
us.
who's growing and who's. Yeah, so they will shoot at you.
Right. Oh God.
So we have to say, I'm like, oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Thanks for telling.
There isn't enough money in the world to get me on that copter with you.
Hold on.
It was cool, though.
The warning is if they think you're a Fed, they'll shoot at you?
Yeah, like if
Well,
you-
because that's
if-
a real smart thing to do with your drug operation is to shoot at people who have a giant army to back them up.
Don't draw any attention.
I don't
That makes
know.
no sense.
Look, I don't know.
I mean, they were high. They didn't know if it made sense or not.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, a New York judge is set to rule on whether to uphold or dismiss Donald Trump's conviction in the hush money case.
Let me guess.
Well, we don't know yet. The decision is expected today.
Yeah, Menace.
And comes after a Supreme Court
do you-
ruling
Where can you bet on that?
What do you mean? I bet you it gets thrown out.
gets tossed.
Yeah, I have theories on that. Go ahead.
Well, the Supreme Court ruling grants lots of immunity to presidents for official acts. Trump was convicted in May on 34 counts of falsifying business records related to payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. His lawyers argue the case should be dismissed based on the immunity thing, while prosecutors say the conviction involves unofficial conduct not covered by immunity.
This is going to be one of those things is either thrown out entirely because of that
Right.
immunity thing or whatever, or it's going to be because he's going to be in office for the next 4 years.
They don't want to deal with
They
him.
can't do anything while he's in office. They have to wait until 4 years from now. Like it's like one of those. It's too big of a hassle. Too
Right.
little, too late. And they're just going to move on.
But it sounds like the prosecutors are onto something. Like, it's not a complete blanket power, like a dictatorship.
No.
Like, if this doesn't have anything to do with, with presidential immunity, then it doesn't fall under it.
Yeah, they say it was just a conduct thing.
Right.
But my guess, and I also have other theories about, the guy's going to be the president, and he can make their lives pretty difficult.
That's
so
exactly what I was thinking.
they're never going to admit it that way. But like, if I'm those guys, that's maybe how I'm kind of thinking. Like
a gentleman's agreement.
Just not even an agreement. Like, I'm not even going to admit to that part of it. I was going to go like, you know what? Can't do anything for the next 4 years. It's a waste of government or local resources.
Right.
He's going to make it rain on me.
It's going to be
once he becomes president.
It's going to be one of those things that like suspended. If there's any other whatever, then they can kind of maybe bring it back. Or one of those, you're going to pick up trash on the highway for the next.
Because they can still do that. They can still have me show up every Sunday.
Right.
At Goodwill sorting donations.
Yeah. It says, presidents can pardon anybody now. So no, because this is a state thing. It's not a federal. Anything federal, yes. Federal. Like, if they're federal charge, he'd be able to pardon himself.
Right. But this ain't that.
My thing with Biden, he's not going to pardon his son, they say.
I would.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I totally would.
Who cares?
But it's not like his charges were, some kind of, he was white-collar crime.
Still, whatever, you're on your way out.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're a joke anyway.
Deuces, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you're out of your mind.
And that's my son. And if any of you were facing any kind of federal charges too, you guys are all good. I'm just letting you know.
Oh,
if I'm ever president,
dude,
we all
all
get
the
pardoned?
homies, they're getting out, dude.
Yeah. Greg, you can be banging hella hookers and
what do you got?
doing drugs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Doing hot rails.
He wants real cred, Lil Durk, right, Menace?
Yeah, Lil Durk, Freed.
Yeah, Tiger King.
Yep.
Out. Yep. Free.
Who cares? Let's go.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's what's going on, Woody.
All right. Thank you, Gina Grad. Quick break. More Woody Show's next. Hang on.
We'll be back. Follow The Woody Show.